And Sydney Council was doing a great job, and I was so slow, and everybody was great and happy.
It's like our first Sydney cycle, so
It's a way of exploring Sydney. It was excellent. I really enjoyed it.
Good energy and a good vibe, so it was really good.
The ride was pretty good actually, except there was very little time to get on the bridge, and with a family, especially if the baby has a little poo just before leaving.
Excellent. The sun was out, and it was my first time to cycle that far as well, and I had a really good time.
Brings a whole lot of people from the community to see how wonderful the foreshore is.
right over the harbour bridge, which is very interesting.
It definitely encourages people to try cycling, and I'm actually a really good example about that because I never ride a bike, but I did it and I loved it.
The ride was awesome. It was really good. There was quite a few people about, which was wonderful.
The council is definitely doing a great job.
The council's onto it, I think. Just slowly and steady, professional. Maybe in the next couple of years everybody will be able to ride around, which would be fantastic.
But I will start riding to work. It's better for the environment, and it's a healthier way as well to get to work.
For people who have got short distance to work, I think it'll be the best thing. Get exercise, and it's cost effective, so yeah, win-win.
They're doing a great job of promoting cycling.
It's a healthy way to live, and I think it's also much more environmentally friendly than having lots of cars and buses around. So I think it's also just nice. You've got a beautiful ocean that you can ride past, and it's a beautiful place to live in Sydney, so riding's a good way to get around.
I think the City of Sydney have done a fantastic job promoting cycling. I mean, they've plugged in every potential gap, so they're building infrastructure. They've developed a really good education program for cycling courses. They're looking at, they've got a kids program that's happened, so starting in at young ages, getting schools and kids riding as well as adults. They've looked at maintenance. They've got free, what we're doing here, which is helping people plan their bicycle routes from A to B. Maps really open a cyclist world. So there are some negative imagery of cyclists, now and again, and in certain kinds of media, I guess. And I think it makes the cyclist job harder, because if everyone's being told that story, then there's almost a negative backdrop that a cyclist is operating in. But, you know, I think at a personal level, you can have a very different interaction with other road users. So personally, I have very positive experience on the road, and I think the more gracious you are as a cyclist, and the more respect you give to other drivers, you get it back tenfold.
When I read the papers, I'm appalled at some of the negative comments, because when you look at people who break the road rules, more of them happen to be pedestrians than cyclists, more motorists than cyclists, and yet cyclists seem to cop a lot of the flack. So I really don't think it's fair. I think everyone should get on a bike at some stage, and once they do, they would realise the benefits of cycling.
I don't tend to take any notice of Alan Jones or the Telegraph. However, I think it's disappointing because they never play with the facts. They never present true facts. They always present opinion.
You know, with every change, there would always be people who are resistant. So I think once all the plans are in place and, you know, everyone sees that it's working, and a lot of people are, you know, they get more buy-in from more people, then I think cycling would be more accepted in Sydney. I mean, it's been around in many countries for many years. Like if you go to Europe, there are more cycle paths. I don't see any reason why we shouldn't adopt it here.
That's an excellent idea to show the councils of Sydney how many people do actually ride bicycles, because at the moment there's far too much emphasis on cars as opposed to bikes.
I believe Clover's doing a good job. It's not just the bike, the cycling, there's the whole laneways that she's concentrating on as well with the art and about. I think that's really good. Yeah.
I think the council and Pirrama are doing a good job. I think they're making Sydney much more friendly and easier place to get around.
I think that we're heading in the right direction in terms of building more cycle paths, because I'd like to cycle to work more, and at the moment I'm very nervous with the Sydney traffic, so it'll be excellent once we have more cycle paths, and it's sort of, you know, once everyone's more aware of cyclists being around the city, I think it's going to help a lot. It's also good for the environment, so, you know, it's a win-win situation.
The City Council are doing really well now. I'm very impressed with some of the shared pathways that are going in, the cycle paths there. But our local council in Lane Cove, unfortunately, are 100 years behind the times.
I think it's pretty safe to cycle in Sydney. That's my personal experience.
And just a last announcement, anyone who is doing the classic ride, that's the ride from here to Homebush, I hope you've left.
What's a cyclist? A cyclist is just a person on a bike. I'm not a cyclist, I'm literally just someone who rides a bike, you know, and sometimes I'm a bus rider, sometimes I'm a train passenger. Yeah, so the more it becomes just normal every day, I mean we talk about that a lot, but the more riding a bike is just very normal, very everyday, in normal clothes, just doing whatever, I think the better.